1 Kings. In the book of 1 Kings, chapter number 8. The book of 1 Kings, chapter 8 was make a suggestion that the writer of Kings also was involved with 2 Chronicles 7, 13, and 14. Now, we're dealing with a God that, with no doubt, emphatically, with no doubt, with all power, came into the earth realm, which was in a chaotic state. Darkness was all over the face of the earth. Water was all over the face of the earth. Everything was out of order. And God began to just speak merely his ideas, words we call Asa, Bara, and Yatsa. The word Asa simply means that God began to create something out of nothing. It wasn't there. It didn't exist. And then Bara means that it was there, but something was keeping it from being seen or being revealed, or was keeping it from being its best. If you notice, he didn't recreate the sun. He just spoke and said, let there be light, and then there was light, because it wasn't necessary to recreate something that's already there. The problem was, it was so dark that the sun couldn't be the best sun it could be because of what was blocking it. Am I making sense so far? And then he began to create vegetation. And it wasn't that vegetation wasn't there, but the vegetation couldn't be at its best because it was too much water for the orange and apple trees and the black-eyed peas and the green beans and collard greens and butter beans and those things you eat to be their best, because there was too much water. There are certain plants that cannot survive in too much water. You can grow rice in water. In fact, that's where they grow rice. It's in water. The tomato couldn't be the best tomato it could be because it was dark, there was no sunlight, and it was water everywhere and darkness. And so the tomato that you like to eat so much couldn't be the best tomato until God came down and straightened out, which was a chaotic situation. And he didn't put anything in its place. All he did was straighten out the thing that was keeping what was in its place from being its best. Can I get some help this morning? And so now we're faced with what we call the coronavirus number 19. And this virus, and some would beg to differ, would say, it's not keeping me from being my best. Well, it's keeping you from being able to touch and agree with your brother. Because if there are 2, 3 gathered together in my name, and the last time I heard together, it didn't mean in some other place. Oh, you're not hearing me. Together means that they were in the same. So we can't touch and agree because we ain't together. And you're going to get argument no matter what you say during these times. And this is, what I'm doing has nothing to do with challenging someone's faith. I'm not saying that you have any less faith or any more faith. I'm just doing what I'm called to do. And if I can be at home with a cold, Y'all ain't hearing me. In a raspy voice. Why can't I do my best for God? That's your choice. But if you need an answer, in the book of Ezekiel, as we move from Genesis, we understand that God just removes some stuff in a chaotic situation so that the stuff that was here could become its best. But in the book of 1 Kings chapter 8, we're going to start with verse number 535. And it reads like this. Somebody say, problem, solution. Say it again, problem, solution. Now, we've been talking about the word shamar, which means to keep, to be kept, to be protected, to watch the city, to keep the gate, to keep you in the right mind. We talked about the Greek word satira for quite a while, which means to hold close, to protect, to have favor of God. But all of it, what it simply means is that God keeps those that are His.
Come on.
And He's going to protect you. So we started with another topic called making the right diagnosis in order to apply the right treatment. Because the question is, if a doctor treats you before they know the diagnosis, they could cause something to happen to you, and you can be in a certain state for the rest of your life. Remember a while back, there was a lawsuit, major lawsuits from women and fathers with the babies. They were having babies, and doctors were taking the babies out improperly, and some of the babies ended up being paralyzed. Y'all remember that? Or they ended up with some type of disability. Y'all remember that? With some type of deformity. And so what I'm saying is, just because they look like they're experienced, doesn't mean that they don't know how to get the best out of you. Some people can leave you deformed. So it doesn't matter. And the other worst thing to do is to start treatment before you know what you're treating. Y'all didn't hear me. I heard on the news yesterday, I forgot what they call it. They got a pill that people use with certain diseases. I don't know if it's scoliosis or people that had behavior issues been taking it. And they saw that the coronavirus was more resistant in those people taking that particular medication. So they're thinking of using this particular pill, which is supposed to be for something else, to help out with the coronavirus, since those people that got coronavirus that don't have that shows a much higher resistance to the virus. So perhaps this pill will work. And that's another problem we got. They prescribe a pill for one thing, and then we find out later on it's being used for a whole other thing. And I'm not talking about something I had experienced. I was on 2 types of depression medicine, actually 3, and didn't know it until they slipped around and told me. I thought it was supposed to be for neurotic pain. Turns out it's for neurotic pain and depression. And I noticed when I was taking this medication, I started feeling woozy, and I started having seizures after seizure after seizure until they spilled the beans. I don't want to call the product name because you know they want to sue you for everything now. I'm going to mess around and say ink pen. They ready to see which one I'm going to say. So they can sue. So, just ink pen, how about that? It's all right to laugh. So I can't call the medication name, but I can talk about it because I'm the one that's experiencing it. And so what they do, they start the treatment before they even know what the diagnosis is. I don't want a doctor that comes and start treating me and say it looked like. Based on the symptoms you have, it sounds like. We'll determine it is, because if I went right now to the doctor, especially the hospital, and the way my voice sounds, the chances are I'm going to pass that test. And it's going to be positive. Some tests you don't want to pass. It'll come back and says, yes, he has the virus. When I've been suffering with this voice issue for over 2 years, and chronic sinus problem for more than 15 years, I haven't had surgery. So you can't go by the symptoms to determine what you have. That's why they tell you, you got to be quarantined for 14 days. Are you hearing me? Because we're not sure what you got. And then if you do have it, what is the solution to the issue? One thing to tell me what I got. It's another thing to tell me if you can help me. Don't take my money and tell me you can help. So in Ezekiel, 1 Kings, verse 35, they are writing to the children of Israel. Israel had come out of Egypt and had experienced some success in wealth and entrepreneurship, and they became landowners. They ended up owning some of the best land, the rivers, had some of the best fishing places. They had some success. And because of their success, they started to ignore what got them to the place of successfulness. I wonder if that's what's going on now. Is that because we have more black millionaires and more wealthier people than we normally have, we forgot how we got here. Y'all not talking back to me. Perhaps because of our success and because of being able to live within the zip code we choose now, perhaps we've forgotten what got us here. The prayers of the righteous, the prayer meetings in the homes, the Bible studies in the homes, the women groups, the men groups that had nothing to do with church or sanctuary or facility. It just simply had to do with my commitment to God. And if I'm going to stay energized, I got to stay connected to the thing that keeps me with my energy. Perhaps we've gotten so successful, we don't need to come together and touch and agree on that. And so, through Israel's success, somehow they have forgotten God. They have forgotten about how they got where they were. And so God comes and he says to them, I like to talk about science and doctors because basically they take up about 60% of my life right now. To be truthful, about 60% of my life, I'm either in a hospital, on my way to the hospital, or coming from a hospital. If I'm not at the hospital, on my way to the doctor's office, or on my way back from the doctor's office, or getting ready to go to the doctor's office. And if I'm not on my way to see the primary, I either just left the specialist, or on my way to see the specialist, or I'm at the office with the specialist. Y'all don't hear me. So 6% of my time, I'm dealing with some kind of medical conversation. And if I'm not at the doctor's office, I'm at the pain clinic because I have to have pain management. So if not at the pain management to get my pain medication, either I'm there or I just left there or I got to go there. You understand? And I've been in a pretty good platform so far. And if I'm not at the pain specialist management, then I'm at the podiatrist because I can't cut my own toenails. And so they have to examine my feet for me. Either I'm at the podiatrist getting the toenail cut or getting an, diagnosis of my feet. I'm either at the podiatrist, just left the podiatrist, on my way to the podiatrist. Can I get a witness in here? And if I'm at none of those, then the insurance that I deal with, they call me just about every day to talk about my insurance and my health and my medication. So I spend about 60% of my time dealing with some kind of medical conversation or issue. Y'all with me so far? So when I started looking at stuff like 1 Kings 8 and 35, if anybody got it in here, just say, I got it. If you don't have it, say, wait on me. I'll eventually get there. It's okay to use your phone. If you don't know it in the Bible, it's okay to go to the index. Nobody will pick at you because we hear you turning the pages. We'll wait on you. And, some reason people feel dumb in church. I don't know why, but, they still flipping the pages. They didn't come to church for 20 years. Well, so I flip them too. I've been here a long time. 1 Kings chapter 38 and 35. What you got, read them?
When the heavens are shut up.
Now listen, he said, when the heavens are shut up. Now, the heavens is what we receive our blessings from. If you notice, everything that we get spiritually from God has to come from above. Mm-hmm. He didn't say when the ground shut up. He said when the heavens shut up. And what else happened?
And there is no rain.
He said if you would just simply pay attention to the winds. When the heavens shut up and there's no rain. How many of you know that we haven't had any rain in months now in the state of Florida? They were just saying the other day, we're way below what we should be with rain. Some of the detention ponds are drying up. When there is no rain, God said, I'm going to make it simple for you. I'm not going to talk to you about areas that you do not understand. I'm going to make this simple for you. I'm going to talk about stuff that all of us can get a understanding. He could have said something about diversify. He could have said portfolio. He could have said annuities and stocks and Wall Street. But he knows that most of us don't know nothing about Wall Street. We can't get no help. So he talked to us.